Hello and welcome to commentary number 2, the writing commentary for Twas the Dark Night Before Christmas, and yes, please watch the original first before continuing here. There's also a technical commentary, that is commentary number 1, which I hope you'll listen to as well, but I wanted to have a separate commentary to focus on the writing because this is a very personal episode for me, and I'll get into why as we go along. But it really begins with the fact that I love Christmas, and I love Christmas episodes of television shows or Christmas comic books. I say Christmas television episodes, and I love Christmas TV specials as well, like your Frosty, your Rudolph, and whatnot, but I particularly love Christmas episodes of television shows and Christmas comic books, or the stories that would come out of the Marvel and DC holiday specials, the short little stories involving the characters, because those stories involved characters that we'd known to grow and love over time, whether through television or through comic books, going through oftentimes life-changing or life-affirming experiences around the holiday season that would all relate back to these great, wonderful themes of of just such generosity of spirit, and and they were just always very heartwarming. And at some point I figured, I would love to write one of these stories. One of the main things that stopped me for a long time was the fact that I felt like I needed a unique hook, because the best of those holiday episodes or stories are the fact that there's some sort of universal truth that's in there that is unique to each story. Those are the ones that stick with you the most, I think, anyway. There's, whether it's through the character coming to some sort of conclusion about the season, or the season affecting the character in some way, or whatever it is, usually there's a universal truth that is discovered in there, and one that has not been explored all that much in another story. And there have been so many Christmas specials and Christmas episodes that it kind of almost sometimes feels like there's, what else is there left to explore about the nature of the season. So that was always a challenge. And then at some point in my life, I found myself encountering a number of people who would they would ask me not to buy them Christmas gifts. They would say, "Oh, please don't spend money on me, don't spend time on me, don't put pressure on yourself, it's okay." And I realized that they had the best of intentions. They wanted to spare me, they were kind of trying to give me a gift in telling me that I didn't have to get them one. Which, again, noble intentions, but I thought at the time that maybe they were kind of missing the point, and that's when I felt I had a hook for the story. Because to me, I think that receiving a gift is equally as important as giving one around the holidays. It's just that there's so much emphasis around the holidays on giving, and giving of yourself, and being generous, and sacrificing of yourself. There's so much of that I think the act of receiving automatically just somehow feels selfish. And I don't think that's true. Because I think that it's equally as important to receive, because you're allowing someone to express themselves and their love for you. And we only have so much time to do that. And this is where it gets personal. Shortly before I wrote this, my father passed away back in 2005, very suddenly. And I'm so grateful. Not that he didn't pass away so suddenly that I wasn't able to express everything I wanted to express to him. And I'm always going to be grateful that I got to do that. And but as Santa says, it taught me, as Santa says later on, that the past is behind us, the future unknown, and the moment is all that we have to call home. And I truly, honestly believe that. That is, it may sound cheesy, but it's just how I feel. And there's just, and that's when I knew I had my hook for the story in trying to express that. And it seemed that Batman was the best person to express this with. It made sense. He just fit the bill so perfectly, and I got to write a comic book story as a result of it. And the writing scheme was not as difficult as you might think. It was actually fun, and it grew to be more fun as I went along. It was challenging, and I wrote this before I ever made Hi, I'm a Marvel and I'm a DC. So, I mean, yeah, once those started to take off, I went back and just filmed what I had already written in time for the holiday season. I'd actually written it a year before. But yeah, And another thing, not to be too nitpicky, but I know some people, one of the lines early on is, he'd never so, none at all ever since the tender age of 9, implying that people saying, hey, Bruce Wayne lost his parents at 8, not 9. I'm aware of that, but he might have turned 9 after, might have had a birthday somewhere in between losing his parents and the next Christmas. You never know. I'm just saying. Anywho, and that thanks Clark. I left that purposefully ambiguous as to the amount of Superman's involvement in Santa's presence. That is completely up to the viewer. I have always wanted to write a Christmas episode, and it makes me so happy that so many people have enjoyed this and made it a staple in their own lives. Thank you, and happy holidays.